Okay, this video is going to show how to model the top base, or base top. I don't know, sorry, my names aren't fantastic, but so it's this part. It's a little weird. It's got hidden lines, and I don't know how much of this we've learned. So hopefully this will help, and then the rest of it will make it easier. But basically there's a slot that goes all the way through, and that's where our glass will sit in, and then there's another slot on the bottom that our LED strip will go in, and then this goes out the side for the wire to go out. So we're going to start by just modeling the whole box. So it's 7, it's 1.5 tall, and it's 3.5 wide. So I've got Inventor open, and we're going to flip back and forth. So it's essentially the size of a 2x4 is what we're going to make them out of first. It's like our prototypes, and then we can make them better. So I'm going to put 3.5 by 7 as I draw my rectangle. Alright, I'll finish my sketch, and then I'm going to extrude it at 1.5. So there it is. Now I have fillets on there, and let's double check. Oh my gosh. Yeah, 1.5. So I have fillets on there, so that's what these are, 1.5 or 0.25. So we'll go ahead and add those because those are fun. So I'm going to go to Inventor, Fillet, and put in 0.25. So I'm going to choose the corners that I want to round this on, and we'll make these with the router when we get back into class. So now I've got my fillets. Boom. Alright, now I'm going to start a sketch on the top, and we're going to cut out the little slot for the top. And the reason we have to round it is because the router has, when we use an end mill, it has a diameter on it, so we have to use that. So all these have to have fillets on it, and they're all 0.125, but it looks like my dimension didn't save. So I'll try and change that. So we've got one side of it is 1.5 to 2. This means that it's centered, the center line. And it's also centered this way, but we have all the dimensions going across. So let's do it this way first. So these are called baseline dimensions. They all start from one dimension, and it's more accurate this way. But the smaller... Ooh. I did not give you enough dimensions. Okay, we're back. So let's start with this first. So I'm going to zoom in on the drawing. Let's make the top first, which is actually this slot. And so how we're going to do that is it's a slot, and so if you see the dimensions, this is the one that goes to the center of the circle, and it's 0.725. And then this one goes to the center of the circle. Because of the fillets that are on there, it makes it a slot, and I'll actually show you how to make the slot. So we'll start first, go over here. So we're going to start a sketch on the top. Alright, and the slot is underneath the rectangle. So we can just do this. So Alright, so now we've got our slot. So the first thing I'm going to do is center it. And I don't like to use a lot of dimensions. So I like to try and use constraints as much as possible. So our view cube is turned this way. So to center it, vertical is actually across. And the horizontal and vertical constraints can center things. So I'm going to take my vertical constraint, and I'm going to go over here. If I hover over the midpoint of the circle, that line that goes across, that's the line, the horizontal line that we want both midpoints to be on. So I'm going to click on this midpoint and then find the midpoint of the block, and it locks it in. Now I'm going to do the same with the horizontal. So I'm going to find the middle of the horizontal and then the middle of it horizontally this way, and now it's centered. So now I've got full, like, no matter how I dimension this, it'll be the same. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this, and this is asking me the radius. So if I put 0.125 in there, now this slot is dimensioned across. So now all we have to do is put the dimensions this way. But since it's a slot and it's a circle, we dimension it by the center point. So if we go back to our drawing, that is that 0.7125 or 0.725. So I'm going to go back to that and put in 0.725. And actually now, because we did the centering, that's equal. So now it's all blue. That's ready to go, right? And I realized I forgot another dimension. I'm breaking a rule. Don't tell anyone here in the drafting world. You never dimension to hidden lines, but that's fine. So this will go down 0.25. The other one, it can go all the way through because it cuts all the way through. So now we'll finish this sketch. We'll extrude it. Click inside the slot. And we're just going to go all the way through. So through all. Click OK. Now we've got this shape done. So now I'm going to start a sketch on the bottom. All right? And we could just make another slot. Or actually, no, this has got to be a rectangle. So we're going to make a rectangle first. And one edge is going to be 0.45 from the edge. The other one is going to be 6.5 from here. So I will center first. So I'm going to take my rectangle tool, draw it. Be careful not to lock into anything. And then center. So again, vertical goes this way, and you can always tell by the lines. So line up those center points, line up these center points. Boom. All right, and then I think we said here to here is 0.45. And now that side did it because we centered it. So we can skip that other dimension. We don't have to put that one in. Now, from here to here, the edge is 1.5. So the dimension from here to here is 1.5. And you guessed it, it's all done. And now we can add our fillets. So put fillet. 0.125. I'm just going to click on the corners. It's going to get weird for a second, but once you click all corners, it'll go back. Alright, so now we've got that. Now we're going to take a rectangle and just draw it off the edge like this, because that's going to be our chord path. And one side is at the 0.45, the other side is 0.7. It's right there. 0.7. So I'm going to dimension in, boom, boom, 0.7. Now I've got all this here. I could trim, or I could just extrude the way it is. So I'm going to finish my sketch, extrude. I'm going to click inside that box, inside this box, like that. I'm going to choose cut. Go back to my drawing. It says 0.25. Put 0.25 in. Click OK, and now I've got the bottom done. This is our whole thing. So we'll set the CNC to cut this top strip down 1 inch, and then we'll set it to do this 1/4 inch. Oh, one last thing. We got to make it look cool. So go up here. Up here, there's a bunch of different things you can choose. I like to use birch sometimes. That looks like wood. There's some other woods in there, like there's walnut if you want to make it look nice, chrome polished. Okay, it's up to you. You can do that. So get that done, save it as BaseTop, and go work on your other two